Go ahead and get yourself seated somewhere comfortable. We're going to meditate. We're going to take 15 minutes just to wind down from the day. My name is Serena, and I have been practicing since 2017. And so I'm just going to share with you some of the things and tips and everything that I've learned along the way. And I think that the very first thing is just to remember not to take yourself too seriously, or to get into this idea that it's supposed to look a certain way, or that we're supposed to be perfect meditators or able to get our mind to be completely still. This is less about making our mind completely absent of thought, but more about the presence behind the thought. So we're just inviting presence into this exercise, into the situation, into this moment. So let's go ahead and begin grounding down through the sit bones. Make sure your spine is long. And you might just take 3 easy breaths as a sign to the body that it's okay to relax now. And if it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes. If not, just keep your gaze soft and just maybe look down a couple of inches in front of you. And allow yourself to soften. Noticing the expansion in the belly, the ribs, as you breathe in. Noticing how everything contracts as you exhale. You might notice any constricted areas where you might bring a hand to. Just invite some gentle attention to any area of the body, the heart, diaphragm, that you wish to just bring some ease into. And while you do this, bring in some kindness and compassion into this. You might notice the heart beating against the hand. If you have a hand over the heart, just notice. Noticing your body's aliveness. You may lay your hands down whenever you're ready. And now I'm going to invite you to bring to mind a nurturing moment, maybe a time where you felt most loved or understood. It could be a moment with a person or a pet or a place. I invite you to bring yourself there. And just connect with that emotion, that feeling of content, love, and nurture. noticing whatever feelings or emotions might come up for you just by doing that. Remaining present with the breath. And just as you're in this memory, just feel into any body sensations, smell, or taste if it's associated with it. You might even let the muscles in the face just be more at ease. Soften around your eyes and your jaw. Soften in the throat and the chest space as well. We're just cultivating this feeling of goodness, this feeling of nurturing comfort. If we want to get ourselves in that space, it helps us to be better and happier human beings. Now, go ahead and let that thought go now. And let's bring our attention back to just the breath. But we have some choices here. You can focus on the sensation of the breath moving in and out of your nose. Or maybe you would like to notice the sensation of the breath moving through the back of the tongue or the throat. These subtle sensations that we can be present for when we slow down, just to experience the breathing. Or you might bring that sensation that you want to focus on in the belly. But just choose one if you can. The purpose of this tool is just to focus on one thing. And we are using that one thing as an anchor to bring us back into the present moment. When the mind starts to wander, because it will, and that's okay. Letting go of this idea that that's not okay, and because it is. And I think that can really hold people back from even experiencing or allowing themselves to dive into meditation. It's because I hear, oh, I can't meditate, I can't get my mind to stop thinking. No, it's less about that. It truly is. If you could just be present at the mind that you were just thinking. Bringing in the presence, awareness. So let's practice that. Again, each time your mind wanders, let that be a cue. You might even smile at that without judging it or making it wrong. And just come back to the breath. Stay with it. Just when you feel like, this is going to end, maybe you just say to that thought or whatever, I can hang in there for just a minute or two more, just keep encouraging yourself to stay in the practice. Several things might come up, not just our thoughts, but bodily sensation. And you might just notice any sensations that might come in and ask yourself, can I be with this? Can I settle into this moment and let that be there and be okay? You might even breathe into the area where you feel the unpleasant or just the sensation. We don't even have to name it as unpleasant. Just breathe into that space and see if you can soften in it. Now, letting all that go, let your mind do whatever it wants to do. Letting the mind wander. You might notice that nothing comes up. Maybe something does, that's okay. But I personally notice that nothing comes up when I'm looking for the thought. Now in this next phase of the practice, I'd like to bring more attention to how we're breathing. So I even noticed it with myself, like throughout the day, where you might notice that you breathe more in the upper part of our lungs and the chest space, especially if your adrenaline is going and you're very active, or you're just like bam, 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 next thing to the next thing, and you don't really have time to stop, especially if we're really busy, hardworking people. It's really hard to stop and just notice and slow down the breath. Okay, so in this practice, I'm going to talk about slowing down and bringing the attention from the chest and see if we can really let the belly expand. really utilize our diaphragm and let the belly expand, getting a bigger breath in. And then exhaling out. We're really inviting more oxygen into the belly, into our body, and it just helps the muscles open up and release better when we have more oxygen. It's really good for the brain to get more oxygen. And just noticing if the chest if there's a lot of tension or wanting to move the shoulders and the chest as you breathe. And it's okay if you are. But I'm going to invite you to just bring the awareness back down a little bit and try to get more of the movement into the belly. And again, don't get discouraged with it. We're just meeting this with some curiosity and breathing in a way that we're not always accustomed to breathing. Because again, we're really busy people. But practicing this, it becomes more of a constant thing, and you will find that you have more energy and able to calm yourself down more when we begin to properly breathe. So just explore with that on your own here for a few minutes. My favorite is the counting. It really helps to count the breaths, maybe to 4 or 5, depending on how open you feel with the breath right now. Counting as you breathe in, and as you exhale, maybe count to 6 or 5, depending on how long you inhaled. Again, try that again, inhaling, expanding the belly. Exhale, draw the navel in as you exhale. Again, just keep that going. You might add a little more to this. You get a little interesting. You could count to 5 as you breathe in. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. If it feels safe, you can hold the void for 2 before taking the next breath in. Do that one more time with me. And then just let all that go, return back to natural breath. Just noticing your quality of breath now versus when you began. And again, let's be gentle with ourselves and not judge it as right or wrong, but just be with where it is. Because we know that it will change, especially with practice. It will change, it will transform, and it will deepen. So keep practicing. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop a comment below or direct message me. So yeah, to end this practice, just bring the palms together, snuggle your thumbs in towards your sternum, and bow your head in gratitude. And just take a moment to greet yourself in the heart. Sending yourself compassion, kindness, and love. Because you deserve it. From yourself first, and then your environment. May peace be with you, and the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. So, thank you all for joining me. Have a good evening.